Before the college entrance exam in my past life, my twin sister asked me to take the exam for her. I kindly advised her that cheating on the exam was illegal. She turned around and conspired with my boyfriend to stage an accident that killed me. She then took my place in the university and got together with my boyfriend. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the moment before I was born. My dear sister, since you want so badly to be me, let me give you a hand. Hey, watch this. I gave her a kick, sending the sister who was supposed to come out later out first in this life. You can be the older sister. Voila. My former sister let out a heart-wrenching cry. It seemed my kick was perfectly timed. I followed closely behind. But this time I didn't cry nearly as loudly. My cry was very weak. Under my sister's loud wails, I seemed small and pitiful, as if I might not live long. This condition of mine drew my parents' concern. The love and care they had poured onto my sister in the past life now shifted onto me. In my past life, I was the one who came out first and became the older sister. I cried very loudly at birth. My cries filled the entire delivery room. In contrast, my sister let out only a soft cry and looked sickly. Seeing my frail sister, my parents' hearts ached for her, while I, the healthy one, was ignored. They believed I had stolen my sister's health, that if it weren't for me, she wouldn't be so weak. With such a tiny cry, from a young age, my parents told me to give in to my sister. They said she was younger, and as the older sister, it was my responsibility to take care of her. Even though we were twins, and I was only 1 minute older, that minute made a world of difference. Our lives were like two extremes. My sister lived under the warmth of our parents' love, growing up healthy and sheltered. I, under their neglect, grew strong and resilient like a weed. That 1 minute age gap meant our parents gave all their favoritism to my sister, while I never received their recognition or true affection until the day I died. In first grade, I scored 100 on my exam for the first time and proudly showed my parents the certificate. They praised me, and I was genuinely happy. I naively believed that good grades could earn my parents' love. My sister never did well in school, perhaps because of our parents' favoritism and indulgence. She never put much effort into studying. Until the night before the college entrance exam, they hatched a plan. They wanted me to take the exam for her. When I refused, they conspired with my boyfriend to kill me, allowing my sister to take my identity and enjoy my status and my boyfriend. My heart went numb with pain. I thought, if only I could live again. I had to rewrite this ending. I didn't want to be the older sister anymore. Maybe because my wish was so strong, fate actually gave me a second chance, letting me be reborn at the moment of my birth. How wonderful. Just like in the past life, my parents named my sister, now the older sister, Zhang Yumei, younger sister Cherisher, and named me, the frail one, Zhang Xiaoman. Little fullness. A little fullness is better than perfection. What a great name. It belongs to me now. When I was 8, we met my former boyfriend, Zhang Jin. His family had just moved in next door. He came from a blended family. His father brought him to live with a stepmother. His father was often away on business, and his stepmother had a child with his father, leaving her preoccupied with her own child, so she often neglected him. In my past life, my parents felt sorry for him and often invited him over for meals and homework. Perhaps because we were both neglected children, we grew closer, sharing a sense of mutual understanding. Xiaoman, would you like a brother to play with you? What kind of brother, Mom? I asked curiously. The young boy who lives next door. You've seen him? Yes, that would be great, Mom. Finally, I'll have a brother to play with. My sister never wants to play with me, and it makes me so sad, I said, pretending to be upset at hearing this. My mother glared at Zhang Yumei. Unlike the past me, who always swallowed my pride, she was rebellious, often talking back to our parents. So they didn't like her very much. Whenever she got the chance, she would go out to play with other friends, unwilling to stay home and play with me. Now weak and frail, I could only stay home and study. Perhaps my parents were worried about me not having any playmates, so when they saw the neglected boy next door, they thought of inviting him over to keep me company. The next day, Zhang Jin arrived at our home at my parents' invitation. Hello, Uncle and Auntie, sorry to bother you, he said as he walked in. You must be Xiaoman, you're so cute, like a little princess. I wish I had a cute little sister like you. He knew that the main reason he was invited was because of me, so he began to flatter me. In my past life, he did the same, pretending to be nice to my sister, but privately, he told me he was only doing it to stay close to me. I thought our similar circumstances meant we were destined to be together, but it wasn't until I was about to die that I learned the truth. He was only with me as a second choice because he couldn't have the one he really wanted. I was just a substitute for my twin sister. This time, I won't make things easy for him. I smiled at him and said, "Hello, brother, welcome to our home," but my smile didn't reach my eyes. "Jin, your stepmother took your little brother out today. Stay for dinner, play for a while." "Okay, thank you, Auntie and Uncle." "Xiaoman, what are you writing?" "I'm practicing high school entrance exam questions, brother," I replied. "High school entrance exam?" "Yes, I'm planning to go to experimental junior high school, junior high, but Auntie told me you're only 8. I skipped grades. My grades are good enough for junior high. I'm preparing for the exam now. Once I pass, I can go." "You're amazing." He gave an awkward smile. With my memories from my past life, I naturally wouldn't follow the normal path of schooling step by step. In my past life, my exam scores were high enough to get into Huaqing University. My sister took my place and went to school in my name. I never even got to enjoy university life before she pushed me into the river and I drowned. While my parents were busy in the kitchen, I ran to my room and took out the jade pendant my parents had given me for protection. I deliberately showed off in front of Zhang Jin. This jade pendant was hard for my parents to get for me, only I have it. My sister wanted one too, but my parents wouldn't give it to her. She often asks to borrow mine, but my parents said I can't lend it to her. "It's for my protection." I saw the change in his expression and continued. "One night, my sister secretly wore it while I was sleeping. Our parents found out and punished her severely. After that, she stopped liking it and never asked to borrow it again." Glancing at his darkening face, I said, "Brother, thank you for playing with me. I want you to touch this pendant, so it can keep you safe too." I held the pendant out to him, signaling him to touch it. He reached out awkwardly, but just before he could, Zhang Yumei returned home, slamming the door loudly. Bang! Startled, Zhang Jin knocked the pendant to the floor. "Ah, my jade pendant." My cry caught my parents' attention. They came out of the kitchen and immediately saw the pendant broken in two. My mother rushed over, trying to piece it together. "Zhang Yumei, was it you? You secretly wore your sister's pendant before, and now you've broken it. Do you just hate to see your sister happy? Why did I ever give birth to a daughter like you? You're nothing but trouble." My father yelled, "Uncle, I'm sorry. I accidentally bumped into my sister's hand, and the pendant fell." Zhang Jin looked uneasily at my father. My father couldn't say much more after that, out of face-saving, but Zhang Jin's impression on my parents was now rather negative. Unlike last time, they no longer invited him over often. However, Zhang Yumei and Zhang Jin grew closer because of this incident. In the blink of an eye, I was in my final year of high school, while they were still in their third year of junior high. "Here, Xiaoman, thanks for your notes." My deskmate handed me a notebook. "Did you hear? The school's junior high campus heartthrob and campus belle are dating." Campus belle and heartthrob. I knew it. You're such a bookworm, too focused on studying to care about anything else. We're in our final year now. Studying is the most important thing in this life. I would work twice as hard to get into Huaqing University again. I would learn to love myself, but honestly, I think the campus belle's sister must be really lucky. Zhang Yumei. Yumei sounds like protect your little sister. Being her little sister must be great. My deskmate gossiped. Zhang Yumei. Yes, being a little sister is truly wonderful. I murmured. "Oh, I almost forgot. The homeroom teacher said the cultural performance this time is a joint event with the junior high campus. They'll even be ranked, and the top few can earn points for our class. We should sign up." "Xiaoman, I remember you're good at piano. You should sign up." The person behind me chimed in. Yeah, Xiaoman, give it a try. I heard that Campus Belle and Heartthrob will also be singing a duet. I'm so jealous of young couples like that, crazy in love, fearless of what others think, my deskmate said dramatically. Hearing that my sister would be participating, I, who had no interest before, suddenly perked up. All right, I'll join. With the advantage of my past life memories, studying came easily. I was always top of the grade, so in my spare time, I had the energy to learn skills I had been interested in but couldn't in my past life. The piano was one of my specialties. In this life, my sister didn't study well either, and my parents didn't send her for any arts training. As expected, the Campus Belle and Heartthrob were my sister and Zhang Jin. They performed a duet on stage, their eyes locked on each other, so attached they couldn't bear to look away. The audience could only see their profiles. The senior students noticed that she looked just like me and were startled. If not for the fact that I was sitting in the waiting area, they might have thought the top student had run off to date a junior high boy after their song. They hugged and then pulled apart slightly, gazing at each other. I felt like they were about to kiss when the announcer timely interrupted, cutting off their public display of affection. Next up is the piano solo we've all been waiting for, performed by our senior academic prodigy, Zhang Xiaoman, Rebirth. The stage was set, I went up and sat at the piano, beautiful music flowing from my fingertips, every note celebrated my rebirth. When the final note faded, the hall fell silent. I bowed. Clap. A single clap was followed by thunderous applause. Everyone was cheering. See, everyone's eyes are clear. My performance won first place. While Zhang Yomei's results were disappointing after hearing the rankings, their faces fell, which made me even happier. When I got home, I showed my parents the trophy. They were overjoyed, praising me as a good child. They carefully placed the trophy on the display shelf, which made Zhang Yumei so angry she snorted and stormed off to her room. I knew she would resent me for this, but seeing her upset made me very happy. After dinner, she rushed out, probably to her boyfriend for comfort, but the look she gave me before leaving was far from friendly. The next day, on my way to school, I noticed several people looking at me with ill intent. I immediately guessed the reason and quickened my pace. When I got to the classroom, confused, Xiaoman, your sister posted a story on the school forum. We know you're not that kind of person. What story? My desk mate secretly handed me her phone, so they were up to something behind the scenes. The story claimed that I was jealous of my sister, that I liked my sister's boyfriend, and that I tried to seduce Zhangjin. It painted me as a scheming little sister. It even included fabricated chat records between me and Zhangjin, as well as private photos of me. When you're utterly speechless, you really have to laugh. I was so angry I laughed. Such childish tactics. They wanted to smear my name through this, but they'd be disappointed. I wouldn't let them win. I quickly gathered evidence and submitted it to my homeroom teacher. I also reported it to the police and handed over the materials. The school took it seriously. As I was a strong candidate for Huaqing University, they were worried this would affect my mindset and, ultimately, my exam performance, which would reflect poorly on the school. With the school's involvement, the police investigated quickly, but when the results came back, I was stunned. The investigation showed that the screenshots had indeed been sent from my phone to Zhangjin. The school was both shocked and angry when they learned this, thinking I had deceived them and that I had questionable character. Although my grades were excellent, if my moral character was flawed, this incident would be a stain on the school. There were many exam takers. I wasn't the only one who could get into Huaqing. The school began to doubt me, facing their suspicious looks. My mind went blank for a moment, seeing Zhang Yomei's triumphant expression. I calmed down. I would never have sent such a message to Zhangjin. My phone had facial recognition. Looking at my twin sister's face, I understood instantly it was her. She must have used my phone to send the message and then deleted it. Clever, knowing it was her doing. I wasn't worried anymore. She probably didn't know that our home had surveillance cameras. The time when she used my phone to send the chat records would definitely be captured on video. Teacher, I didn't send those messages. I have proof to clear my name. Proof, then show us. We like students who excel, but we won't accept those with questionable character. A school official said. I logged into the surveillance app and found the footage from that day. It clearly showed Zhang Yumei, while I was in the bathroom, unlocking my phone and sending the messages. With that, the truth was out. Considering they were minors, the police and school ordered them to delete the false posts, clarify the facts, write self-criticisms, and apologize during the Monday assembly. The incident caused quite a stir. Both sets of parents found out. At their age, dating was already frowned upon, and now they had done such a thing, slandering others. They were furious. The children were confined to their homes for education. I thought they would lie low for a while, but they were stubborn. They started plotting something else that day. On my way home from school, a group of thugs blocked my path. Hey there, little sister, we've heard of you. How about you play with us? Yeah, I've never played with a top student. Their vulgar words made me sick. A chill ran down my spine. This was my usual route home, but it wasn't a busy area. I was genuinely scared. What if they did something? I was alone, not as strong as them. Once something happened, I wouldn't be able to fight back. Would I be ruined by Zhang Yumei again in this new life? No, I wouldn't accept that. Why should the wicked roam free? Summoning my courage, I turned and ran in the opposite direction. The thugs started chasing me. While running, I shouted, "Fire, fire." I knew that if I cried for help, no one might come, but if I shouted fire, they would definitely check where the fire was. Whether it would affect them, it worked. Soon, nearby residents heard and looked out to see where the fire was. The thugs, seeing that people were watching, knew they couldn't continue. They cursed and gave up the chase. When I finally stopped, exhausted, I had escaped death, too tired to care about appearances. I collapsed on the ground. Thankfully, my legs had cooperated. I didn't trip over myself like in the movies. After catching my breath, I thought about it. I didn't know these people, but their target was clearly me. They were probably behind this. I knew it wasn't over. They would come back. I couldn't just wait to be attacked because I had skipped grades to senior year. People called me a prodigy and often asked me to share my study tips. Live streaming was very popular at the time, and I often broadcasted my study sessions online, becoming a study blogger with a decent following. So, on my way home these days, I started live streaming my walk. Finally, a week later, the thugs cornered me on that street. I gripped my phone tightly, feigning nervousness. I asked, "Who are you? Why are you blocking me? I want to go home." "Little girl, how about you have some fun with us?" Their faces were greasy with lecherous smiles. "Stay away from me." Comments flew by quickly. "Oh my god, what greasy men, how can anyone smile so greasily, comma, oh, my eyes, comma, oh no, what are they going to do to my study teacher, comma, they're definitely bad guys. I've already called the police, comma, I hope someone comes to save our little blogger soon." I knew the netizens must have called the police, but it would take time for them to arrive, so I needed to stall. "What do you want? Money, right? I know. You want protection money. I have money. Please don't hit me." I pretended to tremble. "Money, how much do you have?" "We don't want money today, we want you." "Yeah, we've never played with a top student before, just play with us. Once we're done, we'll let you go." "No, don't come closer." I backed away. They kept advancing. My followers were terrified, afraid of what might happen to me. Many had already called the local police station. They reached out their evil hands. One tried to grab my clothes. I struggled, angered. They threw me and my phone to the ground. I screamed for help. "Scream all you want, no one will come to save you." Just then, sirens wailed. They were startled and tried to run, but the police had them surrounded. At the police station, they were still arrogant. They were frequent visitors. They had cornered me there because they knew there were no cameras. Unfortunately for them, they met their match in me. How could they have known my phone was live streaming and recording everything? And because I was a minor, their crimes were even more severe. I handed the recorded video from the netizens to the police, along with other evidence provided by viewers. Soon, the thugs were sentenced. They received 3 years in prison. Finally, a threat to my safety was eliminated. After this, my dear sister and her boyfriend lay low for a while. No one bothered me, so I could focus on my studies. With the teacher's final dismissal, my new high school career ended. After the college entrance exam, I could finally enjoy the university life that should have been mine. I packed up and went home, ready to eat well and rest for the exam the next day. That night, Zhang Yumei brought me a glass of milk. "Little sister, I haven't been a good older sister. You have your big exam tomorrow, so I specially heated this milk for you. I hope you sleep well." "Thank you, sister, but I'm going to take a shower now. I'll drink it afterward," I said. I knew she was up to no good. "Make sure you drink it." When I went to the bathroom, she sneaked into my room. She opened my backpack and found my pencil case. She probably wanted to destroy my admission ticket, but she underestimated me. Our admission tickets were kept by the homeroom teacher and would be handed out before the exam. She rummaged through my bag but found nothing. Frustrated, she pounded my pencil case and left a note. "Let's see how you take the exam tomorrow." Smug, she left my room. Luckily, I had prepared extra stationery, or I would have been in trouble. I replaced everything and checked it carefully. I also poured the milk down the toilet. I wouldn't dare drink anything she gave me. The next day, I took the exam as scheduled. This time, I answered even more calmly. I knew I would pass. "Please put down your pens." The 2-day exam finally ended. My extended summer vacation and Huaqing University. Here I come. A week after the exam, the Education Bureau came knocking. "Hello, we've received a report that you cheated on the college entrance exam. To ensure fairness, we've come to investigate." I invited them into the living room. I wasn't nervous at all. I did not cheat. An innocent person has nothing to fear. The questioning ended, and they were about to leave. "Wait, no, uncle. I have to say something. I can't cover for my sister. The exam should be fair. I can't let her go down the wrong path." Zhang Yumei called out. you're talking about covering." Their eyes sharpened. "Yes, the day before the exam, I saw my sister preparing cheat sheets. I told her it was wrong. But she wouldn't listen," she said, acting like a righteous hero. I couldn't help but laugh. "What are you laughing at? Cheating on the exam is serious, even though you're my sister. I can't let you keep making mistakes, sister. Why would I need to cheat? I've always been first. Why would I cheat on the most important exam? Why? Because you're afraid of messing up and losing your prodigy reputation. Stop being so stubborn. If I weren't the one being accused, I would think she was a righteous sister, willing to turn in her own sibling. But I didn't bring cheat sheets. I have proof." "Are you talking about the note you put in my pencil case that night? I found it long ago." "You're the one who can't stand others doing well. You're lying." "I have proof. I installed a camera in my room. You can watch it. It will prove my innocence." Also, when I entered the exam hall, the proctor checked my pencil case. "I didn't cheat. I have the ability. I don't need to." She panicked after watching the footage. The officials reprimanded my sister. Since she was a minor, they only gave her a verbal warning. When my parents returned and found out, they were furious. They took a ruler and beat my sister. The sound made me wince. Finally, she struggled and ran away. I didn't see her for the next few days. My parents, still angry, didn't bother looking for her. I knew she hadn't come back for a while, but I didn't remind them. I figured that wherever she went, she'd survive. Bad weeds never die. About half a month later, she returned, looking worse for wear. But that wasn't my concern. On the day the results were announced, my sister smirked when I saw that my score didn't appear on my screen, but her smile quickly faded. The admissions office of Huaqing University called, insisting that I apply. Of course, Huaqing was my goal of the school, and reporters came to visit my home. Yes, I was the top scorer in the province. My parents were overjoyed. Relatives and friends, hearing that I was the top scorer, came to congratulate me. For the new semester, my parents escorted me safely to the university. Seeing Huaqing, I was truly excited. I felt like I was dreaming. Setting foot on the campus, I felt a sense of relief. I majored in a science-related field, voraciously absorbing knowledge, ready to contribute to my country. But in my junior year, my sister, who had been quiet for a long time, came to me. "Little sister, please help me. Please take the exam for me. We're twins, no one will suspect. Please, my grades are so bad, I'll be ruined if I don't do well. Please," she begged, kneeling before me. She looked just like the sister from my past life. A chill ran down my spine. "No, I won't help you. You said yourself the exam should be fair. I can't help you. I have class. I'm leaving." Before I left, I looked into her eyes. They were terrifying. But I was no longer the person I was in my past life. She could no longer take my identity. That was the last time I saw her. Before the exam, during the physical, she was found to be pregnant. When my parents found out, they were furious and demanded to know who the father was. She refused to answer and ran away again. The whole school knew, including her boyfriend, Zhang Jin. Of course, the separated couple had secretly gotten back together and tasted the forbidden fruit, but they were still school-aged and had no means to raise a child. Zhang Jin suggested she get an abortion while she was still early in the pregnancy. Hearing this, she knew they couldn't raise a child. They bought abortion pills. In the middle of the night, Zhang Yumei bled profusely and was rushed to the hospital. After emergency treatment, she survived, but she lost her ability to have children forever. The hospital contacted her parents. When they arrived and saw the two of them, "I'm going to sue you for the rape of a minor," they said. They called the police, and Zhang Jin was arrested. He was an adult, while my sister was a few days shy of being one. He was sentenced to prison as Zhang Yumei became mentally unstable. Neither of them could take the exam. She often said incoherent things. "I am Zhang Xiaoman. I am the younger sister. Our parents should favor me," afraid she might hurt someone. Our parents sent her to a mental institution for treatment. Meanwhile, I was heading to the northwest of the country to participate in scientific research. I had a bright and promising future, no longer dying because of others' jealousy. I enjoyed every day of my new life. I took the time to visit them in prison. I said to Zhang Jin, "That broken jade pendant back then, I deliberately helped it along. I wanted to provoke you, and you fell for it." So easily provoked, he stood up excitedly, pounding on the glass, but was immediately pulled back by a guard. As for my sister, I knew she had been reborn too. Too bad for her. She came back too late. Fate favored me, giving me a chance to turn things around. You wanted to be me so badly. Your wish is granted. You've truly become Zhang Yumei. She tried to bite me, but I quickly called the nurses. They gave her a sedative. Seeing her in pain was so satisfying. I have a bright future ahead. I will continue to devote myself to the great cause of building my country. After listening to this story, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your ideas in the comments. Now, let's begin a new story. My little sister fell in love with slow foot culture. She used exam papers as skirts. She used her red scarf as a tube top. She even posted those private photos online just to get money for game equipment. When I found out, I took her phone and tried to reason with her for over 2 hours, but my mother just smiled faintly. Oh dear. Your sister is so accomplished, making money at such a young age. Later, she mixed period blood into spicy hot pot and fed it to me. I vomited for 3 days, and when I scolded her again, my whole family sided with her. My mother put her arm around her shoulder. Your sister is still young, it was just a little prank. Can't you, as her older sister, be a bit more accommodating? My father also said, blood is rich in iron. Your sister was just trying to help you. If you dare bully your sister again, I'll beat you with my belt. Later, my sister's behavior became even more extreme. She carved words into her eyeball. She even decided to sleep with an HIV-positive man to stay trendy. I ran to the motel and dragged her home, but she flew into a rage at me. Wang Feng, why are you so uncool? This is a trend. If I get HIV, I'll become a trendsetter of this era. To get back at me, she gave my address to that old, infected man. He broke into my apartment and assaulted me, giving me HIV. I suffered every day, living a fate worse than death. Later, I developed severe depression and jumped off the roof of my apartment. After being reborn, I returned to the day my sister was taking those photos for money. This time, I smiled. Mom, Xiaoxian is an adult now, she can make her own judgments. She's just chasing trends. Our Xiaoxian is beautiful. She's bound to stand at the very peak of fashion. Xiaofeng, look at the photos I found on your sister's phone, and these transfer records. What's going on? My mother sat on the sofa, holding my sister's phone, anxiously pushing my shoulder. Suddenly, my body jolted. I realized I had been reborn in my past life. On this very same day, my mother had secretly looked through my sister's phone and discovered she was on some social media platform, posting suggestive photos for money. After my investigation, I learned my sister was into slow foot culture. She had joined many group chats. Those groups were filled with grown men who asked for photos every day, things like white socks, black stockings, photos with a red scarf as a tube top, or using exam papers as skirts. A girl could get 50 yuan per photo. My sister, Wang Xiaoxian, had just turned 18 and was in her final year of high school, the most crucial time of her life. When I found out, I was shaking with anger, afraid she would ruin her life during this critical year, but I never expected that in my past life. When I tried to be a good sister, I would be repaid with betrayal and the whole family's disdain. Thinking of the pain of jumping from the roof, my body breaking, I broke out in a cold sweat. Seeing that I wasn't responding, my mother pinched my thigh hard. Wang Feng, what are you thinking? I'm talking about your sister. Look at her phone, all these private photos. What a mess. And those stockings, they look so indecent, and all these men sending her money. Has your sister gone bad? Don't you care about your sister at all? Hearing her scolding, I stood up impatiently. She always did this. Whenever she found something wrong with my sister, she would complain to me and push me to discipline her. Now, I frowned in annoyance. Mom, Xiaoxian is grown up. Can't you respect her privacy? You took her phone. That's a violation. Besides, Xiaoxian turned 18 last month. She has her own judgment. If you want to know about the photos and the transfers, go ask her yourself. Seeing my impatience, my mother sat on the sofa and scolded me for half an hour. Selfish, ungrateful brat. I shouldn't have given birth to you. Xiaoxian is your own sister. You don't care about her at all. Oh, 3 years old. You know the rest. You've never been close to me. You're not even worth a toe compared to Xiaoxian. In my mother's eyes, she only had one daughter. I was 7 years older than my sister. When I was born, my mother, disappointed I was a girl, sent me to live with my grandmother in the countryside. Both my parents went out to work, barely coming home for years. It wasn't until I was 9 and had to start school in the city that my mother reluctantly brought me back. By then, my sister was already 2. Because of my sister, my mother had become a full-time homemaker. When I was young, she often complained that she couldn't handle 2 children alone. I asked her, then why didn't you send little sister to the countryside and bring her back when she was ready for school? Unexpectedly, she blurted out, then she would grow up wild. Xiaoxian is my precious. she's different from those ruffians. Her words stung me deeply. To fit into the family, I did all the chores. During college, I never asked for money, working odd jobs instead. Even after graduation, when my monthly salary was only 8,000 yuan, I gave my mother 5,000 for household expenses. Looking back, I was so foolish. I tried to buy love by giving my all, but those who don't love you will only take you for a fool. In my past life, even after I was assaulted and infected with HIV, and the man had even posted videos of me online, I was so depressed I wanted to go to the police, but when my parents found out my sister had given him my address, they feared she would be implicated. They forbade me from reporting it and had me committed to a mental institution in the hospital. I suffered inhumanely, force-fed medication, and Wang Xiaoxian would still text me, trying to provoke me. She sent me videos of my assault, and all the nasty comments from netizens. Thinking of this, I clenched my fists in hatred. I hated not only Wang Xiaoxian but also my mother and father. Since fate had given me another chance, I would grind their whole family into dust. Around 8 p.m., my mother finished cooking, my father was home from work, and Wang Xiaoxian had just returned from school. As soon as she entered, my mother helped her with her shoes and coat at the dinner table. After much hesitation, my mother smiled and tentatively asked, "Xiaoxian, I saw your phone today. Aren't some of those photos a bit too revealing? And the transfers from those boys, what's that about, sweetie? I don't mean anything by it. I'm just afraid you'll go down the wrong path." At this, Wang Xiaoxian got angry and threw her chopsticks at my mother's face. "You old hag, you're sick. Why were you snooping through my phone? Why are you so controlling? It's slow foot culture, don't you get it? So uncool." Wang Xiaoxian had been spoiled rotten. She had a fiery temper now. She continued to berate my mother. "Old woman, are you so bored at home? You like snooping through my phone so much? Buy me a new one." A garbage. "If men are giving me money, it's because I have skill. Are you jealous, psycho?" Her words were awful, but my father didn't care. He just ate his dinner and muttered, "Li Chunfeng, you're just too controlling. Can't we give our daughter a little freedom?" I also chimed in, "Yeah, Mom, I told you not to invade her privacy. Besides, I've heard of slow foot culture. It's popular online, especially with young people. Our Xiaoxian is beautiful. Of course, she should be at the forefront of fashion." My mother never expected that her well-intentioned warning would be met with such hostility. She sat awkwardly at the table, biting her chopsticks, looking a little sad. "Humph, that's just the beginning. In the end, my mother apologized to my sister and gave her an extra 1,000 yuan in allowance." About half a month later, on a Sunday, my sister's school was on break. She snuck into the kitchen, insisting on making lunch for the whole family. I knew what she was up to. She was going to make that bloody spicy hot pot again. Seeing this, I went to my room and used lipstick to redden my right cheek, pretending it was swollen. My sister was busy in the kitchen. My parents, drinking tea in the living room, were already showering her with praise. "Oh, our Xiaoxian is so diligent, so young, and already wants to take care of us," my father added. "Right, they say a daughter is like a cotton-padded jacket. Our Xiaoxian is a fur coat." Soon, my sister emerged from the kitchen after 2 hours. She had only made a small bowl of spicy hot pot. It was filled with vegetables, topped with a thick layer of chile oil, looking red and glossy. There were also 2 strands of hair stuck to the bowl's edge. My parents frowned at the bowl. Wang Xiaoxian smiled and recommended it. Dad, I made this myself. Just a small bowl. You should try it. There's a big surprise inside." My mother immediately came to my door and knocked. "Wang Feng, come out. Xiaoxian made spicy hot pot for you. You have to try it." "Humph, the same as in my past life." My parents thought the food was dangerous and didn't want to try it, so they called me out. The first time, I thought it was strange. The taste was off. It was fishy, foul, and bitter. The pot was all vegetables, but it had a strong fishy smell. I felt nauseous and asked if the ingredients weren't fresh, but Wang Xiaoxian just laughed. She said it was a popular dish in slow foot culture, menstrual blood bibimbap. She had just made a variation, boiling the bloody sanitary pad with the vegetables for extra flavor. At the thought, I felt sick again. Now, I opened my door and faced my mother, covering my cheek. "I can't eat, Mom. My gums are so swollen from stress that I can't even drink water without pain." I walked to Wang Xiaoxian, still covering my face, then lowered my hand. Maybe it was my makeup skills, but my right cheek looked swollen and bruised. "Sister, it's my fault. I don't have the fortune to eat your food, but I really want to praise you. So young, and already cooking. I'll send you 500 yuan as a reward. Okay, when she saw the money, she waved me off. Fine, since you appreciate me, I'll make you something another time. Dad, come on, try my food, it's really delicious. She had let me go, so my mother couldn't say anything more. She gave my father a look, then went to get small bowls. They sat at the table and shared the small portion of food. I sat on the sofa, legs crossed, watching coldly. My mother took a small bite of lettuce. My father, seeing this, braced himself and drank a sip of soup. Wang Xiaoxian watched eagerly. Dad, eat up. What are you doing? That's like feeding a cat. They always gave in to her. My mother closed her eyes and stuffed the food in her mouth. My father held his nose and downed the soup. After about 5 minutes, they had finished the whole bowl. I smiled, then raised an eyebrow. Mom, how is Xiaoxian's cooking? Is it good, Dad? Can you give her some feedback? This is her first time cooking. Wang Xiaoxian also looked at them expectantly. My mother awkwardly pursed her lips. The taste, it's not bad. It looks spicy, but it isn't, just a little fishy. My father tried to cover for her. What's fishy? I can tell. She must have used dried shrimp for the broth. It's seafood. You just don't know. Old lady. Then my mother asked, Xiaoxian, what seafood did you use? It wasn't spoiled, was it? Suddenly, Wang Xiaoxian burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, what seafood? That stuff is expensive. How could I afford it? Dad, I fed you a delicacy. The #1 food of slow foot culture. I just put a pad in while cooking. Ha ha ha, you've tried it now. Isn't it cool? So trendy. My parents were stunned. Then my mother, remembering it was Xiaoxian's time of the month, rushed to the kitchen. Wang Xiaoxian hadn't cleaned up, and there was the pad floating in the pot. My mother's eyes widened. She stuck her finger down her throat and vomited everywhere. My father, who hadn't understood at first, followed her into the kitchen. Soon, they were both on the floor, retching. The kitchen and living room filled with a foul mix of fishy and acidic smells, like fermented chicken droppings. They vomited until they were dry, heaving bile. My mother, still vomiting, pointed at Wang Xiaoxian. How could you make such a disgusting thing? Wang Xiaoxian held her chin high, unfazed. It's called being trendy. Don't you get it? It's very cool in slow foot culture. You're so uncool, you don't know anything about fashion. I also chimed in, right? It's the trend with young people. Dad, don't be so dramatic. Xiaoxian worked hard to cook for you. You should appreciate it more. Besides, blood is rich in iron. She's just trying to keep you healthy and help you become trendsetters. Hearing my words and seeing Wang Xiaoxian's attitude, my mother vomited and cried at the same time. Even my father's eyes reddened, his shoulders shaking. They probably weren't crying from emotion, but from the acid burning their stomachs. They quickly called 120 and took themselves to the hospital for stomach pumping. After the bloody incident, my parents barely ate for a week, surviving on milk. In just 7 days, they both lost over 10 pounds. My father had given up on Wang Xiaoxian. With autumn approaching, he went back to work at the construction site, moving out for a fresh start, but my mother still doted on her good daughter to help her study for the college entrance exam. My mother cooked her elaborate meals daily. She had no words for her daughter's slow food interest, except to say she supported it as long as no more bloody food was involved. Then, about half a month later, my mother got a call from the police station, asking her to come for a mediation. It turned out Wang Xiaoxian had caused another problem. The caller was another student's parent. Wang Xiaoxian had a boyfriend, a quiet, bespectacled boy in his second year of high school. Influenced by slow foot culture, she wanted to carve her name into her boyfriend's eye. He was too afraid to do it, but Wang Xiaoxian wasn't. During lunch break, she went to his classroom, took out a blue pen, and tried to carve her name into his eye, but she was too rough, and the pen leaked. Blue ink squirted into the boy's eye, leaving him screaming in pain. I didn't see it, but I could imagine the horror. My mother had barely arrived when the boy's parents jumped her. His father punched her nose, his mother clawed at her face. Police couldn't stop them. The boy was smart, and his vision, though requiring glasses, was otherwise good. He could have been a candidate for a military academy, but Wang Xiaoxian had ruined his eye. Despite emergency saline irrigation, the damage was done. His cornea was severely damaged. He might lose vision in that eye. This was a crime. Since she was 18, the police detained her. My mother, beaten by the other parents, still worried about her daughter, she begged and pleaded, knowing that the exam was only 2 months away. She didn't want her precious daughter's future ruined. In the end, it was settled for 100,000 yuan, but that was a huge amount for us. My father was a laborer. My mother, a housewife, Wang Xiaoxian, was used to the best. Despite my financial contributions, we had no savings. My parents had to beg everyone they knew to borrow the money. After paying, they were deep in debt now. My father could barely look at Wang Xiaoxian without seeing red. My mother just shook her head. Just then, I was transferred to the company's main branch downtown. In the past life, after the transfer, I had rented a small apartment near the city center and moved out. Only my parents and Wang Xiaoxian knew my address. When I sabotaged her plan to meet the HIV-positive man, she gave him my address and the spare key. I guessed that after being released, she had recently started an online affair with that man. So I announced to my parents, I've been transferred, so I'm going to rent an apartment downtown. I've already put a deposit on a small place. I won't be coming home anymore. They scolded me. Wang Feng, you're an ungrateful brat, with us in debt. You're going to live in luxury. 800 yuan a month is our monthly food budget. I'll beat you to death. In my past life, my father had beaten me black and blue. The next day, they tried to get my deposit back, but it was non-refundable. Only after I promised more money did they let me move. This time, I wouldn't give them a cent, nor would I let him touch me. As my father went for his belt, I shouted, "What do you want from me? I'm doing this for the family." I ran to Wang Xiaoxian. "Sister, I'm moving downtown so I can get a second job, to save money for your college. Now that you've been suspended, you must be bored. I want to have a place where you can come to rest after shopping or bring friends for parties. They don't love us. I'm so hurt." Hearing this, Wang Xiaoxian snapped, "Are you too senile? Why are you yelling at her? She's right. I want to have parties. This house is too small. A place downtown is the only way to have face. If you bully her, I'll starve myself. I hate this family." Seeing her anger, my parents backed down. My mother hesitantly looked at her. "Sweetie, please don't starve yourself. It would break my heart." My father put down his belt and tried to appease her. "Fine, if you agree, then I won't say anything." The tension melted into false warmth. My mother, after soothing her, then glared at me. "Wang Feng, tomorrow, give her a spare key. She must be able to visit any time. Take care of her, or I'll make you pay." I smiled calmly. "No problem, Mom." The next morning, I packed and moved, but I didn't move into the new apartment. I moved into the company dormitory. I sublet the apartment to a man just released from prison, a bald man with a fierce look. A few days later, at work, I got a call from Wang Xiaoxian. "Sister, what's with your apartment? It's so embarrassing. I brought friends over," and in the middle of playing, a bald guy barged in, claiming it was his house. He had scars all over his face and tried to hit us. I pretended to be upset. "Sister, the apartment got messed up. I'm crashing at a friend's place now. The landlord double rented it. That guy is so scary. I can't fight him, so I had to leave. Are you okay? How about you guys go somewhere else? I'll send you some money." Then, as if surprised, I added, "Oh, but I'm a little short right now. But Dad's at work, and Mom's out visiting. The house is empty. Why don't you take your friends there?" She yelled at me and hung up. I immediately called the bald guy. He was my coworker's brother. Fierce-looking but kind. The scars weren't from fights but from childhood accidents. He had been in prison for accidentally eating a protected bird. I sublet the apartment to him cheaply, with the only condition that he install cameras to watch my sister. He excitedly told me, "Xiaofeng, your sister is wild." When I got home, clothes were everywhere. She was in bed with some old guy, practically glued together. "I'll send you the video." The guy looked almost 50. "Your sister must really be hungry." I reminded him, "Brother, how? That man has HIV. You need to disinfect everything and change the bedding." "Thank you for the video. I'll treat you to dinner sometime soon." He sent the video. Watching the dark, balding man, I cried with excitement. He was the one in my past life. Because my sister wanted to be cool and have infected babies, she found him online. I would never forget him attacking me, biting me until I bled, then tying me up for a week. Now, having been reborn, I wouldn't let any of them go. Wang Xiaoxian and the man, with nowhere else to go, returned to my parents' house that night. My mother called me, crying. She had come home to find them together. "Your sister is so desperate. That man looks your father's age. So ugly. I want to die. What do we do?" Xiaofeng, she didn't yet know about the HIV. I just mumbled and hung up. Then I texted Wang Xiaoxian, telling her I supported her, that love was free. I also told her that if they needed money, my mother's bankbook was in the second drawer, with her birthday as the password. A week later, disaster struck. My father, whose work was suspended due to rain, came home early. He found the house ransacked, Wang Xiaoxian and the man half-dressed, wearing my mother's jewelry, with the bank book on the table. He flew into a rage and fought the man. Just then, my mother, having lost at mahjong, came home for more money and saw the scene. The man was strong, biting a chunk out of my father's shoulder and my mother's face. Then, he took the bank book, cash, and jewelry, and ran off with Wang Xiaoxian. My parents called the police, but it was a family matter, so not much could be done. I immediately went on a business trip to stay away. I had been bitten by an HIV-positive man, but there was still time to take preventative medication. I waited until the treatment was done before contacting home. When I called, my parents were crying. They said Wang Xiaoxian had run off, that they only had me now, that all their money was gone. Even my grandmother's ring. I smiled and said, "Mom, Dad, you weren't injured when you fought, were you? That man has HIV, if you bled, you're definitely infected." They went silent, then screamed. They were older and weaker, they couldn't miss it. After they were diagnosed, I accidentally let it slip in the family group chat. In our small town, gossip spread quickly. Soon, everyone knew my father was fired, neighbors avoided them, relatives kept their distance. And there was still the 100,000 yuan debt. Within 3 months, unable to bear the pressure, my parents committed suicide together. Wang Xiaoxian vanished. 2 years later, I got a call from the police. She had died, abroad. She had been infected by the man and had 2 children. He had taken her abroad, supposedly for travel, but actually to sell her organs. When the traffickers found she had HIV, they were furious. As revenge, they made them both living dolls, amputated and put in jars for display. They died within 2 weeks. When I heard the news, I cried. In my past life, I had given everything to be a good daughter, a good sister. I sacrificed everything, hoping to earn their love, but now I understood love isn't bought. The person you should love most is yourself. After listening to this story, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your ideas in the comments. I look forward to hearing your voice.